It's been a while.
Good to be back at Dino's.
Oh, it's changed a ton. I didn't even recognize it when.
Yeah, they've remodeled it. It looks great. The way that this came about as our de facto office was I lived in the North Bay. Mike Duran lived in the South Bay, so we were going to compromise and meet a place and Will's like, well, I live in the city, so this will be a great compromise. But it was like a block from your house, so we got kind of screwed on that.
That worked out pretty well for me. That worked out really well for me.
We sat over there and we had warm egg plant salad, and they used to have Diet Right on tap. And I thought Diet Right was caffeine free, so I was just like
hopped up,
like wired out of my brain. I think that's why I like the place so much. You know, when you start off and you're starting a business, like you don't really have that much going for you. You can't pay people that great. You don't have a track record, and like just the fact that, like, you know, Danny, I remember you being in college, and when you decided that you were going to join Alpine, I mean, I can't tell you how much that meant, and how moved I was that you had that confidence. You know, we had to make Fun One work, and we were in a bad way. And I remember, like, you know, Will, you raised your hand to move out to Maine for 2 years to run Advanced Tel, which you did. Yep. And Danny raised his hand to move out to Detroit. And I remember, you know, I would talk to you on the phone, and at you know, 4:30 in the morning, you would go in and paint the walls so that the production people could have a slightly better environment. As the CEO of the business, you were the first one in, last one to leave. And Will, I can remember talking to you, and you'd have to like go shovel your roof so it wouldn't cave in during the snowstorm. But both of you, you know, got those businesses turned around and sold it. We needed that to happen. We needed those businesses to, you know, have a good outcome. And like, you just raised your hands and went out and did it. And it just said so much about, you know, the culture and what kind of people you are. Danny, what was that like? What was going on with you when you were doing that?
I mean, I thought it was the best. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I was 22 years old and getting to run my own company, but just the responsibility. It's like, as I think about my team today, just trying to pay forward that empowerment and being able to do something as cool as running a company at 22. Like, what firm allows you to do that? Alpine does. Yeah. And there's so many examples, even I think of today, that we continue to embody that spirit.
There was so much just deep trust from the get-go.
And we're so complementary too. Like, I felt like each of us had really different skill sets.
That's right.
And together we were better.
Yep. I think, you know, the other thing that comes to my mind is, even when I doubted myself, I looked around at the guys I was working with. I was like, well, I'll be okay, because these guys are really good, right? And so, you know, just being surrounded by an incredible team of folks, I mean, huge lesson early on, right? Just surround yourself with the very best, and you can get your way through anything. You know?
And then the other thing was, we were making progress. You know, we could see bright spots. They weren't, you know, you had to look hard in the early days, but you'd see like little bits of progress. We could start to see ourselves, hey, this could turn out this way. What if we kept doing that? Hey, wait, we learned something here. What if we kept, you know, what if we applied that? I remember it was in the depths of the recession, and I had hired an executive coach, and I had this one coaching call where I was frazzled. You know, it's like the middle of 2009, and he did this exercise, this root cause analysis, and at the bottom of all the root cause was a person. You know, we had the wrong CEO here, the wrong person working on this deal, you know, the wrong person in this role. That was the root of all those issues. And all of a sudden I was just like, gosh, I've been solving the wrong problem this whole time, you know, and saying, you know, and I think all of us collectively, as we started really reflecting, realized we're not actually in the deal business, you know, we're in the talent business. And I think that really changed everything for us once we really started realizing that's the true business that we were in.
Yeah, I remember we would tell people that, you know, 50% or more of an investment outcome is people. I actually think it's more than that.
I think it's higher than that.
I think it's definitely higher than that.
You know, Will, you introduced us, you know, to Tom and Francis and CEO2, and I think that was really when we got really, really serious about running our own firm as a business, and we implemented their entire, what's now the People First Leadership Program. Yep. We implemented that. It was a little clunky at times and took a lot longer probably than it needed to, but it was just basic stuff about renewals and what went well, what's not going well, the OFI process. I mean, it was just really, like, I just remember there were multiple times in that process where I just had these light bulbs going off. Oh, you can, you know, here's how you do a process mapping. You know, here's how you really, here's how you set containers for initiatives which are OFIs, and then here's how you roll them out. And it was just like, it was really like the first time when we started becoming really effective leaders of our own business.
Well, I think we invested, we made the commitment to invest into ourselves, right? We
Yeah.
put time and effort into making our business better. And, you know, you got to be ready and committed to doing that work if you're going to get something out of it. We've seen that time and time again with our own companies, right? You got to have a management team who's really ready for that and wanting that, and really embracing that continuous improvement mentality.
And even now, the conversations that we have as a team are focused on things that are going to serve us 5,
Right.
6, 10 years out. I think that's been a really big differentiator.
Sure. I'm excited for the impact that we can have on the world with this platform that we've spent, 20 years building, having happier employees at our portfolio companies, great career opportunities for the team at Alpine, and then really figuring out how we can be a force for social good. And I love that that's very much part of the conversation at Alpine.
People say, like, what are you most excited about for the future? I think about 5 years from now, take our current team and advance them in their careers 5 years, and it's almost unfathomable, like how much potential Alpine has when you do that. And then you have new people coming up as well.
Yeah.
It's like, it's hard to even imagine the power of that's going to have.
Think back to who we were back then and look at who we are now. It's an amazing journey.
Yeah, it's been incredible.
Yeah.